So now we're getting a little more advanced, but don't be afraid. It's not that difficult to figure out, but a lot of people have trouble with it, and that is the ADSR. So I explained that the MIDI goes into the oscillator, to the amplifier, to the filter, right? But MIDI data also goes into the amplifier section through ADSR. And what ADSR is: attack, decay, sustain, release. It's an envelope, and it's very important to synths. If it wasn't there, then a synth, as soon as you plug it in, it would constantly make this sound, like forever, right? Because there's no data telling the amplifier to open or close or do anything really. So without it, you just have an oscillator is just a signal, and it doesn't understand MIDI telling it what to do. It only can receive pitch. So forget what I said before. So we have our MIDI going into, let's see here, we have our MIDI going into our synth, right? Right, and we have our amplifier envelope here, right? So we have a few parameters, well, 4 to go over. So think of it as attack, release. Right, these are 2 separate things. Decay and sustain should be together. So basically it's 3 things. 3 things you got to worry about, right? So what we have is our attack. As soon as we press a button right now, it starts playing right away, right? If we increase the attack, it slowly fades up, right? And it's kind of, you know, it has a nice smooth attack, and it gives an attack, but without it, right? You understand? So that's the attack. It's kind of a slowly fading up, and that's good for pads and such, right? And our release is when as soon as we let go of the button or let go of the key, it continues to play. And right, so it's more of a natural sound, right? That's attack and release. It's basic, right? Sustain is the volume. Right, but it doesn't do anything unless the decay is there. So we'll have the decay. Decay is the amount of time the note is played for. So I'll have this down here. Right, it's very plucky, right? And with the sustain, you have a little bit longer, and then it continues to play right after. So you can think of the decay as a snap, and sustain as, you know, as long as you're holding the button, that's the sound it's going to make. If it's not there, then there's no sound. The sound eventually goes away. But if it is there, there's a little bit of sound, right? As opposed to a release. Or you can have an attack too, which kind of kills the decay. Or yeah. Right. So you have something kind of old school there, if that makes any sense. And this is basically reset. Right. So we have MIDI, oscillator, amplifier, and the MIDI also going into the ADSR for the amplifier, controlling the amplifier. If that makes any sense, right? So next up, we have our filter and the ADSR for the filter. And yeah, we'll get to that in the next video.